Welcome to WrestleMania Backlash. Now, guys, I had no interest in seeing this show, and I was literally gonna skip it, but I thought, obviously, this is just a repeat of WrestleMania. They may just throw some new matches, which they are, but still generally keeping the same people they had the matches with. And then, knowing that they're not gonna do the unification match, that was the only reason I would watch. To see the unification match, they removed it. So literally, I had no interest, none to watch it. But something told me I should watch. Because there had to be something else going on. Something. So I watched. Was there anything new? Nope. There wasn't anything new. Now, mind you, was the entire show trash? No. Out of 6 matches, I believe there's 6 matches here, I say 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 6 were okay. The last match was good. The others were okay. So, see it like this. The show was good, but why care? This is the thing that not many people may talk about. They'll say this is a pretty damn good show, and I'm going to explain my thoughts on it. But why care? Why? Now, opening of the show. I was actually surprised they went with Cody versus Seth. I really believed there was going to be much more upper in the card because they are trying to make Cody mean something. But they opened with it. Now, Cody is still very over. So, seeing him in this position was a bit of a surprise. But not totally a bit of a surprise because this is still WWE. So I knew there was a good possibility this could happen, but I was surprised it would be so quick. So, was the match bad? No, it was a fine match. And the way they booked the match was that Cody was scouted very heavily by Seth. And Cody pretty much was getting his ass pissed off because Seth was basically stopping him doing what he normally would do, is stick. I'll say this. Seeing Cody win was not surprising. He had to win. Now the question's going to be, he's got 2 wins over Seth. Does this mean it's over? No. Due to the fact of how the system is currently in WWE in the booking right now, I just don't see this ending for several months. I say at least 3 months. I'll be surprised if it ends before then. But 3 months at least of a program next to the month that's already passed, and with 36 days since WrestleMania, this is not going to end that quickly. They're going to keep him with Seth until they believe he's ready to move on to maybe the US or the IC title. I believe the IC title is on SmackDown, so it'll probably be the US title that they may begin to show him to be interested in. Doesn't mean he'll go for it, but it may show it. That's just me, and that's me just guessing because I still don't watch the show. Moving on. The match that made no damn sense because it didn't matter. Omos versus Bobby Lashley. I'm moving through this very quickly because I don't really want to deal with it. Did I care about the match? No. Do I care about Omos? No. Do I care about Lashley? No. Do I care about MVP? No. You know why? They booked MVP and Lashley like crap. Omos, and I'm not against the guy. He does seem to still need more time to develop. He just doesn't have it. When you look at Omos, you don't see a really big man that has a lot of charisma. Because here's the thing, guys. Big men, they either are exceptionally great in the ring or exceptional characters. Sometimes, like The Undertaker, they're both. Omos is neither. Not because he's too damn big for his own good. Not because he's not cut like a muscle man. Not because he's freaking black. Just in case someone's saying, oh, you're doing this because he's black. Fuck you. He's not, because it's not about him being black. It's just he doesn't have it yet. I truly believe he was brought up to the main roster way too soon. He needed more development. He just feels like he's incomplete. And that's the problem. He doesn't seem to have full amount of charisma. He doesn't really have a very good moveset. And when it really comes down to it, him going to work with AJ and then someone begging Vince not to let him go away from AJ obviously still shows here, because since he's moved away from AJ, he really doesn't feel like he's doing anything. Now, yes, with MVP, he could eventually get there, but he ain't there now. He wins, and it doesn't help him, and it doesn't help Lashley. Moving on. AJ versus the Judgment Day. The faction that now I gotta say this. When it comes to Edge reinventing himself, it looks good. Working with Damian Priest, I haven't watched. Sometimes I've seen a little bit of highlights, but generally, I haven't been watching. The presentation of Edge, the video package for Edge, was very good. I liked it. The music is perfect for Edge. It's not You Think You Know Me. It's totally different. He feels different. When he goes in the ring, he feels different. And I gotta say this. I need to say this now before I forget. Now I understand what's going on with Impact Wrestling. Because throughout the entire night, I noticed something. Flat out. I don't have any images. I'm not putting any images in this video. But I noticed something really strange. That the camera work was really like this or this. And I'm going, what the fuck is going on here? Has Vince lost his mind? And then it hit me. I've been wondering why Impact Wrestling has changed its style of camera work. I was going, what is going on with Impact? Why are they doing such tight camera shots? Guess what? Vince decided he wanted to make the show more dramatic. So, he's done this. And then what I saw, he even went closer to make Roman Reigns look even more greater. And I'm going, what the fuck? Now it makes sense with Impact Wrestling that they're being stupid enough to emulate Raw. And I don't know what SmackDown's like. I haven't watched SmackDown. But I guess this is what Raw is showing probably now. And this is probably what SmackDown is going to show now. Or has been showing. I bet you it is. And that's the reason why Impact is doing it. They see WWE do it. And being most of the time Raw light in some cases, they have a tendency to copy. My gosh. If anyone is fine with Impact Wrestling's camera work, watch this Backlash and you will see it to the nth degree. Now, was the work in the ring good? When you could see it, yeah. It was fine. And then seeing AJ lose due to the fact of outside help first you had Damian Priest come out, but he didn't interfere. But Finn did attack him. So you're going to see Finn and Damian Priest still working together. I don't know why they would deal with Finn. Because really, the way I feel about Finn, he don't really feel like much. He's not the Demon. And he's not Prince. You know what I mean. I can't remember what he called himself. But it's been a while since I heard him be called Prince something. I can't remember. You guys can tell me below what he was called. Prince Albert, I believe. That's what he was called. I can't remember. But pretty much he doesn't have either one of those characters from what I could tell. But when you see Rhea Ripley appear, good. This is the only thing that I'm very happy to see. I mean, seeing Edge the way he is good. Seeing him working with AJ is good, but this is the best thing I've seen so far. Seeing Rhea Ripley now going to work with Edge. It makes perfect sense. It needed to happen, and I'm glad it happened. Now, the SmackDown Women's title match of Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. An I Quit match. Now, here's where I get off the rails. The match quality wasn't that great. I mean, they tried. The commentators were making it to the nth degree. How important I Quit match is. How incredible Charlotte is. How incredible Ronda is. And how they tried to make it so important about Charlotte being a 13-time, and actually I think she's a 16-time or 15-time champion starting in NXT. since they now don't want her to be remembered that way. Now they have her as a 13-time champion. But the point is, they tried to make this mean something so much more than what it was. Was the work bad? Honestly, it wasn't perfect. They tried to make it a lot more than what it was. Ronda didn't sell that well in the very beginning at all. Charlotte didn't even want to sell at all. And halfway through the match is when they began to try and make it mean something and trying to make it sell. To try and make the people get invested. We know, if you guys know how it is, you know Charlotte had to win. Well, that's what we think. But honestly, I know that's what I said, that Charlotte had to win. That's what we were thinking. That's what I was thinking. Charlotte gonna have to win. But in actuality, who really needed to win was Ronda Rousey. Because the way things have been booked for Charlotte, she always has to win. She needs to win. She's got to win. Charlotte, it's not that the women's division won't function without her. It's like Charlotte can't be nothing but a winner. And then you see Ronda Rousey, who should have been champ a while ago. She should have been champ of WrestleMania, but wasn't. Due to the fact they had to move the match away from the main event. She should have won it then, but she didn't. So she had to win it here in a stupid rematch that should have never happened. So pretty much, Ronda Rousey wins. And now Charlotte supposedly got a fracture of her, I forgot what the bone in her arm. Pretty much, she now supposedly has a fracture. But the point of this entire situation, which is probably fake, I don't think it's real. But the point is that they did the right decision. We all thought that Charlotte was just going to win again, even though Ronda had to win. We all know that that's what Vince rather have. Charlotte always on top. But if you're going to think about this carefully, you needed Ronda to win this damn match. If she didn't win it, it's going to mean they got nothing for anyone to do. That's what this really comes down to. Vince realized Ronda had to win. Next to probably wanting to be champion, Ronda wasn't going to probably take it. They had to do something different because they let everybody else on the roster win except for Ronda. I'm just saying. Now, the match I definitely didn't care about. And they should have made me care more. And that was Madcap Moss versus Happy Corbin. Now, mind you, Happy Corbin wasn't 100% booked great when they did the Corbin storyline of him losing all his money. And they could have made it at a signature pay-per-view for him to win. And then he could get money. No. They made him win at, Las Vegas. And then from there, he started building back up. Instead of winning at a signature pay-per-view and then winning at Las Vegas and then building up from there. They could have made the special and they didn't. Madcap Moss, being his partner, actually did make sense. He wanted someone that can make him laugh. And then here, Madcap Moss unfortunately won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which meant nothing. Now has a feud with Corbin. And we have this match where literally silence. It was nominal. There was just background noise. No cheering, no booing. It was just people making noise. Like they were just talking amongst themselves. No one were happy about the match. No one was sad about the match. They just made regular noise. They didn't even try to hijack the match. It was just like that. That is what you don't want. You want reaction, and there was none for them. None. That shows you how badly booked this was. Moss won. But what does it mean for Madcap Moss? Nothing. What does this mean for Happy Corbin? I'm botching for Happy Corbin. Because it meant nothing for him either. And it wasn't about the match quality. It was that no one cared about the feud. Because Corbin wasn't totally cared about. Madcap Moss wasn't cared about. They didn't make Corbin means something when he had no money, and instead of giving me a signature pay-per-view where he would finally win and begin to rebuild his life, nope. There you go. Finally, the match that I really didn't think was going to be good, but was good. The Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew. I didn't care because there was no unification match. I knew it would be a good match, but I didn't know, one, how heavy Randy Orton was over. I mean, he's over. I know he was over. People have been cheering for him. I've seen it. But I didn't think it would be that over. He was that damn over. He was hot. At this point, the only person that can truly go after that title right now, if they don't got Cody ready, would be Randy Orton to go after the unification titles. He's the only person that I can see that is so freaking hot that he would be the only person that they can put up against a Roman Reigns at this point. People will want to see him beat Roman Reigns, so he may be the next person in line. The next person was, Drew wasn't really that hot. And that's kind of surprising. But Riddle was hot. So that shows that the work that Randy has done with Riddle has really shown fruition. It really has blossomed because you got Randy here, you had a Riddle here, and everybody else other than Roman Reigns. Because Roman's right there on top. We know he's right here. This is the only face, the other only face, then everybody else, and you got Roman Reigns. 617 days, that is 1 year and 4 months and a couple of days or week. Woo! I'm telling you, that's the roster right now. You got Roman, you got Randy, you have Riddle, Matt Riddle, and then everybody else under it. That's at least what I saw. Now, was this match good? Hell yeah, it was. It was the best match of the night. Even though it was not the unification match, it was the best match of the night. And when you see the ending, when you see that Riddle was pinned by Roman, which I wasn't surprised, he was the one who got the win. They make it very clear he holds the titles over his head, and he makes it very clear that the Bloodline controls all. I am at the head of the table. That is how it's been booked. So would you enjoy this show? 4 out of 6 matches were good. The last match was very good. But why would you care? Guys, think about this for a minute. Just think. Cody's not ready because Vince is not going to make him ready yet. The only person that seems to be ready to go against Roman is Randy Orton. And currently he's in a tag team. That many people think they're supposed to break up, but won't for a while. Because Randy Orton is actually too happy working with Riddle. He's actually happy working with Matt Riddle. So that's the reason why they're still together. I'm sure Vince wants to break him up and Randy says, no, I'm actually enjoying myself. Let me stay with him. So that's why he got him. And pretty much, what are you really going to be getting from the WWE right now? One, very bad camera work that now it's like this, unless Raw and SmackDown are not like this. This show had this. This. You can't tell me you didn't see it because it happened. This is what Impact Wrestling has been doing, but not to the nth degree like WWE has. So 1, you don't have great camera work. 2, what is the tag division? Nothing. They needed to unify the titles because 1, there's almost nobody on SmackDown and there's barely anybody on Raw. They needed to combine the titles and they refused to do it when they really needed it. IC title, I'm taking guesses, not doing that well because I haven't checked. The US title at this point probably doesn't have that many people dealing with it. When it comes to Ricochet, I don't think he's doing that well. I believe it's Ricochet who currently has the title, unless it's Finn. I don't remember. But I should remember. You see, I'm not remembering who's the IC and the US champion because they've not given me a reason to care. Currently, they've gotten rid of a huge amount of people. Or worse, the booking of the same people that keep showing every single week has been so lackluster. Why would you care? The only people this is catering to at this point are not even full casual wrestling fans, just people who like to watch TV. Guys, see it like this. This is what this is. I believe Vince has made this into. He once catered to wrestling fans. Yes, he wanted to make this entertainment that would be good for wrestling fans and casual wrestling fans and just anybody who watch anything. That's how he really booked this. That's the reason why it was so dominant. That's the reason why it changed culture and made things differently. That WWE or WWF at the time influenced the Johnny Carson show, MTV, the Grammys, the Oscars. Anything they did back then was changed due to the fact of how popular wrestling was, that he made it. It catered to hardcore fans, the casual fan, and just people who just want to watch anything. Now, you know what this show is about? People who just watch anything. It's not catered to the casual fan. It's not catered to the hardcore fan. It's catered to just anybody who watch anything. So yes, there's still casual fans watching. And there's still hardcore fans that are diehard fans that will think even though you can barely see anything in the ring, you know that they're doing the same matches over and over again. And you know 100% that they're going to lay off even more people who literally they should be using, because the more people that lay off, the more of the same people you see, and it gets boring. They don't care. Right now, as it stands, they're catering just to people who will watch anything. And if you actually think they're catering to you, the wrestling fan, watch and see how they're going to treat Cody Rhodes. I do not believe Cody's going to be treated well for much longer. Yeah, well, I take that back. Within 6 months, you'll see Cody either not do anything or end in the back. They won't fire him because maybe he'll have about a year or two or maybe 3-year contract with them. I don't think he got a 5-year. I don't think Cody went that well. I think Cody would do maybe a 2 to a 3-year contract. That's what he probably negotiated. I doubt it's going to be 5. If it's 5 and he ends up like this, then he doesn't really care about wrestling. He just wants to get this and be seen on TV. But as far as I'm concerned, Cody's not going to get much. Yes, he probably got creative control. But how much creative control he's going to have when there's almost nobody to work with? This is what Cody probably didn't think about. If he's got creative control over his own character and any storyline he wants, the problem Cody's going to have is not that he's not going to be able to make whatever he wants. It's going to count on how many people he's going to be able to work with to be able to make whatever he wants. Because as it stands, there's almost no one to work with. Seth Rollins, how long is that going to last? Maybe he'll work with Kevin Owens, maybe Sami Zayn. Maybe he'll start working with Edge. Maybe he'll start working with Roman Reigns or Randy Orton. That would make sense to work with Randy. But honestly, how long can you actually last like that when eventually you go through them all, exhaust them, and then you have to rehash it again? He may last a year if he's lucky. I say 6 months, counting if he's been able to book it correctly. But that's just me, and I hope you enjoyed this review of WrestleMania Backlash. Comment below. Peace.